Hello, dear friends. Today, I want to talk to you about research activities. Perhaps the word research brings to mind scientific laboratories or universities for many. But in reality, research surrounds us everywhere and is an integral part of our lives. Every time we face a new task or try to understand something new, we become researchers. Understanding how to conduct research helps us make informed decisions, solve problems, and learn new things. It's a skill that will be useful to everyone, regardless of profession or age. Research activities develop critical thinking, increase our awareness and competence. Research activity is the process of searching for, collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information to gain new knowledge or a deeper understanding of existing ones. Simply put, when we want to learn something new or figure out a complex topic, we conduct research. This can involve reading books and articles, experimenting, or observing. Imagine, for example, that you decided to buy a new phone. You compare different models, read reviews, watch overviews. That's research. Or you found an interesting recipe and want to try cooking it. You read about the ingredients, watch videos with step-by-step instructions, or maybe you're planning a vacation. You study different countries, look for information about attractions, weather, prices. Why is this important for all of us? Research activity helps us make conscious decisions, avoid mistakes, develop critical thinking, and be more informed and competent. Research doesn't happen chaotically. There is a certain process that helps to effectively collect and analyze information. First, we gather and process information. We look for all available data on the topic of interest. Bring the information into an easy-to-understand form. We take notes, make tables, draw diagrams. For example, if you want to learn to play the guitar, you look for online lessons, beginner books, advice from experienced musicians, make a study plan, note important points, select exercises. Then we formalize the results. Bring the obtained data into a structured form, highlight key points, and draw conclusions. After studying materials on playing the guitar, you might highlight the main chords to learn, create a practice schedule, and set goals for the near future. Next, we express the results, apply the acquired knowledge in practice, share the results with others if necessary. You start practicing the guitar regularly, record your playing, and share it with friends for feedback. To make research effective, it's important to understand the level at which we are working. This helps to stay focused and not spread ourselves too thin. First, we define the sphere of research, a broad area of knowledge or activity in which we conduct research. This could be medicine, information technology, art. Defining the sphere helps to set the boundaries of your research and understand where to look for information. Then we define the object of research, a specific part of the sphere that we are studying. In medicine, this could be the cardiovascular system. In information technology, the development of mobile applications. In art, the history of Impressionism. Focusing on the object allows for a deeper study of a specific topic within a broad sphere. Next, we define the subject of research, an even more specific aspect of the object, what we are directly studying. In the cardiovascular system, this could be the effect of stress on heart rate. In mobile application development, optimizing the interface for users with disabilities. In the history of Impressionism, the works of Claude Monet. Defining the subject of research helps to focus on specific details and gain a deep understanding of the topic. All three levels of research are interconnected and help structure your study. The sphere is a broad area, the object is part of the sphere, the subject is part of the object. For example, if the sphere is ecology, the object is air pollution. Then the subject is the impact of car exhaust on air quality in cities. This helps to avoid confusion, allows for a deeper understanding of the topic, and makes information retrieval easier. When starting research, always first define the sphere, then narrow it down to the object and subject. Imagine a pyramid that helps structure your research from the most fundamental foundations to specific conclusions. At the base of the pyramid is the canon, a set of reliable and authoritative sources of information, a kind of gold standard in your field. These can be textbooks recognized by experts, scientific journals, reports from leading specialists. The canon is important because it ensures the accuracy and reliability of information, helps avoid errors due to incorrect or outdated data. Next, we define the rules for interpreting information, establish how we will evaluate and interpret data, develop criteria for the reliability of sources. For example, we check facts in several independent sources, trust information from specialists with confirmed qualifications. Then we move on to the process of research and formalization of results. We collect data according to established rules, structure information for better understanding. We create summaries, use diagrams and graphs for data visualization. After that, we filter the information in the context of the sphere and object, check whether our conclusions correspond to the overall picture, take into account the specific features of the topic. For example, if we are researching the impact of music on mood, we consider cultural differences and personal preferences. Finally, we formalize the results and plan their application. We formulate final conclusions, plan how to apply the acquired knowledge in practice. If we have found that a certain diet improves health, we develop a meal plan and recommend it to others. It is important to know what mistakes can occur when conducting research in order to avoid them. One mistake is shortening the research process, skipping important stages, rushing to conclusions without sufficient information. This can lead to incomplete or incorrect results, an increased risk of errors. For example, you decided to cook a complex dish, but didn't read the recipe to the end and missed important steps. As a result, the dish didn't turn out. Another mistake is the wrong choice of the type of research, using an unsuitable method to solve the problem, moving on to practical experiments without sufficient theoretical basis. The consequences can be serious: loss of time and resources, failure to achieve the set goal. For example, attempting to fix a complex device on your own without knowledge and experience, instead of consulting a specialist or studying the instructions. It is also dangerous to fit results to the desired outcome, distort data to confirm your assumptions, ignore information that contradicts your expectations. This leads to unreliable conclusions and possible negative consequences when applying these conclusions. For example, you are convinced that a certain product is beneficial to health and ignore studies showing possible harm. Misunderstanding the object or subject of research is another common mistake. Insufficient study of the topic before starting research, confusion between different concepts can lead to incorrect conclusions and discrepancies between results and reality. For example, you confuse two medical terms that sound similar and make incorrect conclusions about treatment. To avoid these mistakes, carefully plan your research, follow all stages of the process, be objective and critical of the information received, and consult experts if necessary. Different situations require different research approaches. Exploratory or global research is studying a new area for you to get a general idea. It is applied when you encounter a topic you know little about. For example, you decided to do weightlifting and want to know where to begin, or are interested in investing and are gathering general information about the market. In this case, read general articles and reviews, watch introductory videos, attend seminars and lectures for beginners. Do not delve into details right away. Try to get an overall picture and understand if you're interested in further studying the topic. Descriptive or detailed research is a deep study of a specific aspect of a topic you are already familiar with. It is applied when you already have a general idea and want to learn the details. For example, you study the technique of performing a specific exercises or analyze specific investment instruments, such as the stocks of a particular company. To do this, read specialized literature, consult experts, practice, and analyze your results. Create a study plan, record your observations and conclusions, set specific goals. Experimental or historical research is analyzing past data and conducting experiments to identify cause and effect relationships. It is applied when you need to understand why certain events occurred or how certain actions affect results. For example, you are researching why a certain diet led to improved health, or analyzing the reasons for the success or failure of a project. In this case, collect and analyze historical data, conduct experiments by changing one parameter and observing the result. Compare the obtained data with expectations. Be attentive to details. Consider all possible factors. Check the results several times. Research activity is not only about science or work, it helps us in everyday situations. For example, when buying a car, you gather information, read reviews, compare models and prices, analyze the advantages and disadvantages of each model. Choose the car that best suits your needs and budget. When choosing a vacation spot, you study tourist reviews, look at photos, learn about the weather, compare options by price, availability, and interesting places. Book a trip to the place that suits you best. When planning a budget, you collect data on your income and expenses, analyze where you can save or increase income, and create an action plan to improve your financial situation. Why is this important? Because it helps us make informed and beneficial decisions, reduces risks and the likelihood of mistakes, and improves the quality of life. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that research activity is a key skill, useful in many areas of life. The right approach to research helps to effectively solve tasks and make informed decisions. Understanding the processes and levels of research allows you to structure your work and avoid common mistakes. How to apply the acquired knowledge. Be curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions and look for answers. Structure information. Take notes. Use tables and diagrams. Critically evaluate sources. Trust reliable and authoritative materials. Follow the research process. Don't skip important stages, even if you're in a hurry. Start applying the research approach in everyday life. Try conducting a small study on a topic that interests you and see how it affects your decisions and understanding.